So all of my air bases and things like that, they're automatically going to send their fighters and bombers over to the enemy's defenses, and hopefully they will be able to disable them. And now what is going to happen is we can enable nuclear war mode, which means that the game will no longer automatically pause. So it has a quality of life improvement in that respect. So I'm just going to let things play out, and you'll see exactly what happens. Look at this. Look at all these missiles going on. Oh, oof. Yeah, that was a lot of damage right there. You can see how many points I have right now. Look at that. 1,666. We're gaining even more. And the total global pollution as well, as you can see, is at 58% and climbing very rapidly indeed. And you can see that Europe is doing fantastically well. But that's exactly my point. The insanity that you can do in this game is just crazy. Hello and welcome to ICBM. This is a real-time strategy game of nuclear destruction. And basically it's a World War III simulator. And, well, if you'd like to check it out, there's a link in the description. Now, we're going to be playing a new game. There is multiplayer as well, by the way. There's a vast array of pretty simple to understand tutorials as well. And there's also an exhibition. Now, an exhibition basically just shows you what a very advanced stage of gameplay looks like, and it might very well be the case that I might end up showing you that later on, but I'm not entirely sure just yet. So let's start a new game. As you can see, you're going to be playing with the entire world at your disposal, so you're going to be attacked and be attacking many different people and things. So otherwise, there are different scoring modes. There's default, survival, extermination. Default is probably what we're going to be going for here. You score 20 points for every enemy kill, and you lose 10 points for everyone you fail to protect in your own cities. Otherwise, you can also start in an alliance. So you could start with, let's say, I don't know, let's say you want South America, North America to be in an alliance. Well, you can decide to do that if you want to. Otherwise, there's a difficulty here. Easy means that the AI gets 35% less production and science points. Normal is 17.5%, and hard is just, well, they're on the same level as you, which, in my opinion, is going to make the AI very difficult indeed. I've been playing a little bit of this, actually pretty significant amount of it, and I am still awful. Yes, I am still awful. So I will be playing on normal. Obviously, you don't have to if you don't want to. There are a variety of different maps as well. As you can see, there's a 4-player map. There is a map that is divided into 7 regions, each controlled by a superpower. They each strive for control of the entire world and are building nuclear weapons in an unstoppable arms race. Then you have the Cold War, so if you want to do that, you can. Then you have the default map, which is the Earth 8 players map. And then you have French versus Spanish, if you want to. Now, you can also distribute the points. You can distribute the points about what you have in your loadout. So technically what you can do is you can say, hey, you know what? I don't want these bombs. I won't take these. I don't want this carrier. I don't want this airbase, and so on and so forth. But I'm just going to be going with the default right here. You can also configure things if you want even more. So if you want to, you can change the amount of available points, the unit deployment time. The full warhead production efficiency is 120 minutes of in-game time, by the way. And you also have auto slowdown, equalizing populations, the GDP being affected by losses, as well as diplomacy being enabled. And these are all of the enabled technologies as well. You can disable any which one you want if you so desire. Otherwise, I'm going to be playing as North America here because that's what they give me by default. And let's start. Alright, so here we go. This is the world map right here, and you can scroll infinitely if you want to, but yes. Otherwise, this is our territory right now, and we will be selecting some research first. So here's the research tree. You can select any number of things. These are various things that will either passively increase the capabilities of technology that you already have, or they will unlock new technology. So personally for me, I want to get SAM as much as I possibly can, because that is obviously the way that you will defend yourself against enemy missiles, and that is definitely going to be something that I am looking to do quite a bit of. Otherwise, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to get a whole bunch of carriers. I'd like to get naval superiority as fast as I possibly can. Bear in mind that I am not very good at this game, and I don't know the best strategies. Those of you out there that have played DEF CON, by the way, DEF CON is definitely a very similar game in this sort of way, but I would definitely say that this is much more in-depth. Maybe that's just me because I haven't played a huge amount of DEF CON, but I know that those of you or fans of DEF CON are very much liking this game as well. So we're just going to be going for one carrier there and 3 destroyers. That's generally the fleet composition that I'd like to keep up. And then otherwise, well, I'm not really going to be building any bombs or anything like that at the moment because warhead production efficiency is at 10%. So it makes, in my opinion, not much sense in building warheads at the moment. So there we go, we've done that. Now all that we need to do is select these things on the side of the screen, and as you can see, this particular, do you see this particular little green circle or area here? That determines how far you're going to be able to attack or cover with this particular construction. So, for example, if I'm going to build it here, then the airbase will be able to cover most of South America, because it seems to me like South America is probably going to be the first thing that we will attack. And in general, in my opinion at least, this area around here, so generally Africa, Europe, Russia, East Asia, West Asia, and Pacific, these are much harder areas to deal with than the Americas, especially in this game, because it really, it's just a huge free-for-all over here. And in this kind of situation, for a beginner like me, it's going to be much easier for me to deal with just 1 or 2 opponents at any one time. So obviously that's a really good way to go, at least for me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get a carrier. There we go, we got a little carrier right there. And then what you can do is you can form a fleet by dropping the destroyers or any other kinds of naval unit on top of your carrier, and they will then follow the carrier around and help it in combat. So otherwise we're going to be building a radar station round about here. We're going to build another radar station round about here, and then we probably want to build more radar stations in general pretty much everywhere that we can, because that's going to give us a lot more coverage and defenses. And then we also have a submarine. Now submarines, they can be accompanied by other submarines or submersibles of some kind that will be able to launch nuclear weapons. And submarines are generally used to destroy things covertly. And they can be used to patrol as well. You can hold down shift and then you can basically patrol wherever you want. So you can basically just click around here, and as you can see, then it will follow that path. And you see these little numbers by the side here? That basically determines how long it's going to take to do that, because this game is very much dynamic in the way that it deals with a timer-based system. So everything is dealt with in minutes and seconds, and maybe even hours as well. But for the sake of the game itself and the gameplay mechanics, we're going to be starting at 0. So you'll see exactly how it goes once I unpause and what actually ends up happening. You also have a number of other things right here. For example, globe view. Yes, look at this. You can actually look at the globe and you can deploy satellites. Yes, you can actually deploy satellites. And then you obviously have territory overlays, so you can see much easier what's going on with the territory. You can also see diplomacy too. So if you want to, you can try to enter into an alliance with any number of other people, and they can indeed reject you, and so on. Then you obviously have radar coverage. You can see that right there. I think I'm probably going to leave all of these overlays on because it's actually kind of useful to have it on, to be honest. And otherwise, I guess we can just get going, right? Yeah, I guess we could just get going. Let's take my carrier, and we're going to do a little bit of a patrol around South America. I don't even know whether they even allow me to go into their territory right now, to be honest. But we have to be a bit careful of Europe as well, and Africa, because they might send over a bunch of ships and we don't really want them patrolling in our ocean space, so it would probably be a good idea to be a little bit careful of that. Bear in mind also, by the way, that if you see anything or if your units spot anything, the game will automatically pause, so then you can think about it as long as you so desire. There's also a time-based system, so in other words, 1, 2, 3, 4 on your keyboard. 1 is normal time, 2 is double time, 3 is triple time, of course, and then 4 is the fastest that you can possibly do. So I will do 4 right here, and as you can see, everything is moving much, much faster. And if anything happens, then of course it will be automatically pausing. And you can see down here that I have my 2 production and research things going as fast as they possibly can too. And what you can also do is, if you want to, you can change this little pip in the middle, and you can change that however you want. So you can kind of give more to either one. So for example, if I wanted to go full science, I could do that, and that would reduce the research cost by an insane amount, but obviously I don't want to do that right now. You also do have intelligence and espionage data down here as well, which in my opinion, I'm not entirely sure what that means right now, but I assume it just means that we have some spies that we send off and that we kind of realize that something has happened in that particular area. Okay, oh, look at this. Okay, we've actually uncovered a destroyer with our submarine. I actually wonder whether we can even defeat this. We might be able to, but let's... Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, this might not happen. Yeah, I doubt it. Submarine was destroyed, yep. But as you can see, look at this. We almost destroyed the destroyer. You see that little bar at the bottom there? You can see on the carrier it's at full, but on the destroyer, if I had 2 submarines, we would have been easily able to destroy both. Actually, we would have been easily able to destroy that destroyer at least. So that would have been nice, but unfortunately, that is really not going to work. But thankfully, my destroyers are pretty quick to be built. And you know what? I actually do need to get some more radar, don't I? Is there any more radar stations here that I can get? Yeah, let's get some more radars. We need some more of these as well. So let me see. I want to get how many of these? I need to try and protect our major cities as much as I possibly can. So let's get 8 of those. And we need to get more radar sites as well. So let's get, I don't know, 6 more of those. It's going to take a long time to build all this stuff, but it is going to be necessary and worth it in the end. Let's go for a 70-30 split too. Let's go for some more research. Okay. What else do we want to go for? Well, over-the-horizon radar is probably one of the most important things you want to be focusing on initially, at least if you want to try and protect against missiles themselves, because this is going to enable radar that is significantly further reaching, and it's going to enable your SAM sites to defend against missiles at a much further distance, so they will get prepared much, much quicker. Obviously, that is just my very basic assessment of what is actually going on here. We also have cruise missiles down there as well. We have a number of things that you're also going to need to research if you want to get to, for example, things like heavy rockets and false warheads and so on. You're going to need to do all of that. So we also have mobile SAMs as well. So that's actually really quite fantastic. We might want to try to do something with that, but I think right now we're just going to be focusing on defense. So we're just going to do this, and then we'll do this. You can shift click in the research tree to add things to the queue as well, so if you want to do that, then you can. And we're going to be going for this as well, and there we have it. Okay, that seems pretty good. All right, so I'm going to be deploying my carriers here, and we're going to be deploying both of these destroyers in this area. New destroyers ready to be deployed. We have another one almost ready, and then we might be able to engage the Russian fleet that is coming in from over there. This is just their last known position, by the way. I don't actually know where they currently are. So obviously that's a bit of an issue, isn't it? Yes, that is a bit of an issue. Okay, so let's start moving out then, shall we? And we'll see what happens. Okay, we have a new SAM site. Okay, so I'm probably going to be placing this roundabout here because I want it to defend the radar station as much as possible. So let's see what happens. Seems like these are really easy to build as well, so I'm very happy about that. And let's place it round about here too to try and defend the radar stations once again. And we can probably place them near to major cities now as well. So let's go for Houston, New Orleans. Don't worry, we're going to have enough for all of them. Or at least I hope so. New York, and that's obviously where another radar station is too, so that's obviously very much important. And we have now unlocked a new piece of research too, the space radar, which is going to enable us to detect satellites in orbit. So that's obviously very good too. So let's start moving. Let's move over here a little bit. I have no idea where these guys are, by the way, so this is obviously going to be pretty bad. Let's place one near Vancouver, Los Angeles, and San Jose. That seems pretty good too. And yeah, we're going to need to place one over here. This is all the way up there. Bear in mind that if you mouse over, you can also see the GDP as well as the population of that particular place. So that is pretty important to do. Let's have a look here. Do I have good coverage? Not the best. Not the best. I'm gonna place that round about there, I think. Okay, where's that Russian fleet? It seems to have disappeared. It's not particularly good, is it? Okay, so let's place another one of these round about here. There they are. There they are. Okay, fantastic. New radar site has been constructed, so we're going to build one round about here, I think. There we go. Enemy destroyer has been destroyed. Fantastic, because of course we did additional damage to the destroyer with our submarines. Generally, I think it would probably be a better idea, if you're much better at this game than I am, to build a whole fleet of submarines and literally just go around killing enemy fleets as much as you possibly can to try and reduce the naval presence. And then behind that, build a whole bunch of carriers and destroyers and then just take over the ocean waves pretty much. So that is going to be a pretty good way to go about things. Okay, so we're detecting more of them. That's absolutely fine. And okay, come on now, destroy them. Yes. Okay, so now bear in mind that I believe we've actually... Oh no, we haven't lost. Oh yeah, we've lost most of our fighters. Yes, that's indeed a bit of an issue. Yeah, so obviously every single unit on the map can be destroyed in some way or another, so obviously that's a bit problematic, but hopefully that's not going to result in any problematic situations occurring too badly, because you can rebuild them, of course. So let's take our carriers and just continue moving across here. Need another radar site. We need as many radar sites as we can get our hands on, so let's build another one round about there. And I just want to try and get as much radar coverage as possible. There we go. Enemy destroyer has been destroyed. We lost one of our destroyers though, but I think we should be able to lay in a pursuit course to this particular carrier, and we should be okay. Oh dear, there's actually a South American cruiser as well. Wait a minute, where's that? I'm not seeing that anywhere. Where was that? I can go back here and then I can select... Oh, it's up there? What? Why are you all the way up there, sir? I have no idea. I really have no idea what they're doing. But let's just continue to move this way. Another radar site. Let's put a radar site round about... I kind of want to get coverage of this area, if I'm honest. And then we will maybe try to get coverage of this area too. Just to be sure what's going on in that area, to be honest. Okay, so there we go. We've built all of those. We now need more SAM sites like no one's business, to be honest. And also the over-the-horizon radar will be done in 10 minutes. 10 in-game minutes, that is. Okay, so let's hold Alt and we'll build 10 of these. And then we'll continue onward. This is obviously going to be extremely quick to build these SAM sites. Okay, so... we just lost a radar site. Did you see that? Look at that. We lost the radar site. I need to get my air bases built as well. I actually need to build a couple of air bases. I think that would probably make a lot of sense for defensive purposes, especially in this area. Okay, we can probably... Yeah, there we go. We destroyed the enemy destroyer in this area too, so that's really nice. Bear in mind that up at the top here, this... is literally just how many casualties you have inflicted to the opponent. Obviously, at the moment, there are none because we haven't destroyed any cities or anything like that. So yeah, that's how that goes. All right, so I'm going to build another couple of SAM sites along the coast here. Build another one here, another one here. There we go. All right, that seems pretty decent. And there doesn't seem to be anything else that I can do here, because it seems like the Russians have disappeared once again for some reason. Not entirely sure how they're able to do that. But they probably were very fast to get out of here, because they were outnumbered, I think. So I think we can probably head back now, just in case we are attacked from an alternate area as well. Okay, so there you go. We have all of those SAM sites now. So let's just place a couple of those. We're going to put one round about here, 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 there, and there. There we go. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And now it's just 2 minutes until that's done. There's another one of these. We need to get some more production going as well. So I suppose what I'll do is I'll build a couple of air bases. This is going to take quite a long time, as you can quite clearly tell. It will take 9 minutes 23 to actually build that. So that's kind of harsh, but I think it will be worth it in the end. I'm going to build 2 of these actually, and then we'll see what happens. It's going to go pretty fast because I have focused on construction for the moment. And we now have over-the-horizon radar as well, which is really good too. Okay, so let's try to build now a little bit inward, because here's the thing. If you build all these SAM sites on the outside of your particular faction, they will be able to hopefully intercept most of the missiles before they even get into the inner workings of your faction. So that's obviously going to be a much better way to do things. Okay, so I'm gonna take my my cruiser here, my carrier, over into South American waters, and we'll see what actually happens, because I'd like to harass them a little bit, maybe just to see if I can maybe weaken their navy somewhat, because they seem to not really be having too much of a presence on this side of the ocean, which I'm very pleased about. Gotta say that, very pleased about that. Okay, so let me see here. Let's build this here. I need another radar base, don't I? Yeah, I need another radar, because we currently can't see anything. So that's pretty awful. Bear in mind that each airbase has 15 fighters and 5 bombers. You can, of course, also send these bombers to attack certain places. So, for example, if I wanted to send the bombers to attack this radar site, I could do that. And I think I might actually do that. There you go. The enemy radar site was destroyed. Fantastic. That actually worked remarkably well. What? How did it work so well? I have no idea. We could also destroy these. We've got to be a bit careful, though, with sending our fighters over there. I think I might want to stop that, actually, now. We really didn't do any damage. Yeah, we didn't do any damage whatsoever, because that's the thing. SAM sites, they're really good at dealing with enemy aircraft. Absolutely the best at dealing with enemy aircraft. And especially if you send them in, they're just going to get absolutely massacred. So it's probably going to be a better idea to do something different. Okay, so... Oh, did we destroy it? I'm actually not sure. Wait a minute. I think we did. Look at that. I think we actually did. Oh, I can't believe it. Okay, very nicely done. Okay, that's good. I'm happy to see that. Okay, let's place an airbase round about there. Bear in mind that I should probably enable auto air patrols so that they can just fly around and try to intercept enemies. Alright, so we're also now going to be building some over-the-horizon radar, because that is obviously going to result in us being able to actually intercept the missiles, because otherwise we're going to have some problems, aren't we? Okay, so otherwise, we've now unlocked MRBM, and these are pretty much, as far as I'm aware, they're medium range. I obviously don't know about this. It's medium range ballistic missile. Isn't that what it stands for? I actually have no idea about that. There's also SLBM as well. SLBM is the missiles that submarines can use. So that's very, very important. but I'm going to now be unlocking this particular research. This is a fantastic submarine here. They have a unique ability to be underwater for up to 6 months at a time. New naval doctrines quickly requalified submarines as underwater missile carriers instead of the classic status of radar and special operations ships. Nuclear submarines cruise at a specific depth, are always ready for battle, and remain practically unreachable by the enemy's anti-naval weaponry. So these are fantastic. These are fantastic for what I potentially want to do, so we're going to be researching those as fast as I possibly can, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so the unit has reached the destination, of course. Okay, let's start moving down here, I guess. These guys can move down here. We're just going to move like all the way around, I guess, and then we'll move all the way back. We're just going to patrol around the little areas here, and we'll see whether we can maybe do a little bit of damage, maybe to their infrastructure a little bit. So if we see like a radar station or something like that, then that's obviously going to be something that we'll want to do. All right, let's get a over the horizon radar around about there. As you can see, my radar distance now is absolutely insane. Look at that. That is just crazy. Okay, so we've seen a SAM site around about here, and they can shoot at it. Yeah, we destroyed it. Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what we want. Don't send your don't send your fighters over there. Actually, I actually don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with them not sending any of their units to attack. I'm happy with the destroyers just firing with their cannons or whatever it may be. Okay, that seems pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something like this. Oh, the radar coverage we have is absolutely crazy. Okay, so we're getting another one of these over here. Let's place it, I guess, in this area. Wow. That's kind of amazing. I like it. All right. Yeah, doing pretty well so far. Now, bear in mind that as soon as this time down here hits 2 instead of 1, the warhead production efficiency is going to be at 100%. So that means people are going to kick everything into high gear, and we are going to be seeing much more nukes and, well, many more nukes and all kinds of other things being produced. So that is something that you need to get prepared for. You will not be able to get every single piece of research in the research tree before the game ends. So you have to be selective and strategic about that. Alright, here we go. We're destroying all the SAM sites in South America right now, which is actually kind of insane. I'm not entirely sure why I'm being allowed to do this. Where are all of where's their navy? Seems like their navy's down here. Okay. Interesting. I'm very surprised, to be honest. I'm very surprised. Okay, so let's see. Maybe I can build one here. There we go. So my coverage is insane in regards to new over-the-horizon radar being deployed. So I guess I'm pretty happy with this. And we've detected some destroyers. Where are they? Down here? Or... oh, up here. Aha, I see. Okay, so we should probably cancel this because I don't need any more of those. And then we should probably get some more air bases. So let's get 2 more air bases. They're going to destroy my radar station here. Yeah, as you can see, they destroyed my radar station very, very easily indeed, and now we can no longer see them. Bear in mind that over-the-horizon radar is primarily for missiles and not actually for ships and things like that, so that's the reason why I can't see where this destroyer has gone. It's just completely disappeared now because I don't have any radar in that area. Okay, so we're continuing to destroy these over here, which is always good. Let's move down here. Oh wow, another radar site. Let's destroy that. Wow, I'm kind of surprised that they're allowing me to do this. I don't even need a radar station there actually. Now that I think about it, or even an air base there, because as you can see, there's nothing there. There are no towns, no cities, no nothing. So there's not really anything that I really need to protect up there. So I'm pretty happy with this actually. So otherwise, let's see. What do we want to do? We could get a missile vehicle. We could get thermonuclear bombs. Advanced aircraft. See, now here's the thing. I have no idea what else to go for, to be honest. This improves all of these. This improves all of these. Silent engines improves torpedo. We might want to do something like that. Let's do silent engines followed by improved silent engines, because I'm thinking we'll probably focus on submarines for the most part. But I really, you know what? Do I have the ability to actually build missile silos? I don't think I do actually, which is pretty bad. Let's start building a couple of these now. Production efficiency is only at 21%. Because they already come equipped, by the way, with nuclear weapons. So that is obviously a bit of a funny thing. Actually, you know what? Let's not build these right now. Let's build a bunch of submarines. Let's build like 10 submarines as kind of like bodyguards for those guys. And then we'll do something else about that. Okay, so let's build an air base here. And we're going to have them patrol. And then maybe they can attack this area. They're gone, as you can see. Yeah, they're gone. All right. Well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I don't really mind about that too much. Okay, so otherwise, let's see what happens down here, because I'm pretty sure they might be down here. I mean, I can't confirm that obviously, but let's just see. Yep. Oh, enemy destroyer detected. Where is that? I don't see that. Where is it? Ah, down here. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I kind of knew that. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of knew that. Okay, so we're going to continue attacking them. Let's just actually move over here, and then we'll move back. And we'll just move along the coast, trying to do as much damage as possible to their SAM sites and all that stuff. Because at the moment, we're not actually attacking any of their cities or anything like that, so we should not suffer too much in the form of retaliation, but well, that very much depends, doesn't it? Okay, so we've got an air base. We could probably build it. Where's an air base? Good place to put it would be about here, I think. Let's do air patrols too. There we are. Alright, so the enemy destroyer has now been destroyed, and we're now going to be focusing on the carrier, I hope. There we go, that's also been destroyed. Okay, fantastic. So that means we will now be able to head back along the coast, and we're going to just try and destroy even more of their SAM sites. And we're now going to be getting more and more submarines being built as well. And we're going to be getting improved silent engines too. So that's obviously going to make even more of a difference to how effective our submarines can be. Bear in mind that everyone else is also attacking everyone else, by the way. It's not just me against everyone. It is a complete free-for-all. So me focusing on South America seems to be pretty much the only thing I can do right now, unless I wanted to be extremely overextended. And I don't really want to do that. So yeah, we're just going to kind of do this. There we go. Okay, so my research is now complete. So now we can even do advanced silent engines, which we might want to go for. I'm thinking maybe we might want to get some, you know, we might want to get some other stuff too, like satellites, early warning system. It increases the range of detection for enemy missiles. That might be cool. Or maybe some of these would be really good too. I've got to choose very, very carefully what we want to go for here. I don't know. That's the problem. I really do not know. What about this? Missile silo. Yeah, I should probably get missile silos unlocked. I mean, I should have done that a long time ago, actually, by the way. If you want to be really, really effective, you do need missile silos. But I suppose if I'm lucky, or if I'm generally doing okay in terms of submarine presence, then I should be alright. But missile silos are generally much more efficient at doing that job. So my bad. I mean, people can play the game however they want to play it, and there are very, very good players of this game. As I've said before, I feel like people that have played DEF CON before are going to be really good. And as I say, there is a multiplayer too. There is a multiplayer. And we're destroying all these sites here as well, which is really nice too. Enemy missile has been detected. Where from? It seems like we have some potential European people coming in here with a fleet or something like that. I'm not sure what they're attempting to do right now, so I'm actually going to go over here and see what's up, because I might want to do a little bit of damage. You never know. I'm going to draw my attack radius right here as well, so that we can see exactly when we can attack. And another enemy missile has been detected, but again, I'm not entirely sure where that's coming from. I don't know whether I really care, to be honest, at this point, because I do have a lot of defenses. Maybe not as many defenses as I should have, but we're going to just try our best. Okay, so they've gone from this particular location, so maybe they've gone up this way? I don't know why they'd go up here, to be honest. Doesn't really make sense. We're just going to give them a little patrol route to go on right now. And then we're going to pretty much just make these guys follow. There we go. Alright, so now they're all in a fleet, which is really nice. Oh, an enemy submarine has been detected over here. Aha, hello there. You want to nuke us, don't you? Yes, I'm pretty sure they do. Alright, so it has now, as you can see, just ticked over to 2 minutes. And you can see that that's exactly the reason why warhead production efficiency now being increased is significant. That is a very, very big change right here. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to place these guys here and here. And we're going to be placing them to follow these guys. There we go. Okay, so they're going to follow these guys, and then we're going to just go basically all the way down, and we're going to be trying to hit South America here. We might even take some of our other submarines over to Europe, potentially, and maybe to Africa. I don't really know, because they seem to be in range of us at the moment. I mean, it might make sense. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. And there's a new one of these ready to be deployed, so I will just deploy that round about here. There we go. And then let's get that guy to follow that submarine over there, because these guys are going to be bodyguarding them super, super hard, which is really nice. There we go. That's another one there. Okay, so that's 2 of them. So I think that should be fine. 2 per one, I think, should be pretty good. And now let's move over and see what happens. Ah, there we go. We finally completed our research. So that means that we should be able to get missile silos now, which is something that I should have gotten a long time ago. Oh yes, I definitely should have gotten that a long time ago. Let's get 10 of those things, and then we'll see what we can do with them. Let's get some more of these, just spawn them around about here. Doesn't really matter at this point. And we have a carrier. Ah, yes, the carrier has been completely destroyed in all kinds of different ways. And what we're going to do now... I'm trying to find the biggest center of population right now. So, it's over here. Well, that's not very good, is it? Now I have to go all the way around. That's pretty awful. Okay, so these guys, they can basically go back to our territory, refill aircraft. They're going to do that automatically. They'll go to the nearest point. And these guys, they're probably going to go to London, let's face it. Going to go to London, Paris, Madrid, somewhere around there. That seems pretty good. And we'll see what we can do. And we're building missile silos as well. So we're going to build one round about here. Bear in mind that they need to be somewhat far away, because in the red area is their attack range, by the way. Their attack range is the red area, so they can attack from pretty much anywhere, as you can see. It's kind of scary, to be honest. And I'm going to place them probably round about here, I guess. That seems decent enough, I suppose. Let's build 5 more warheads as well for them, just to make sure that we have enough. All right. Oh, my submarines are being destroyed? By what? Are you serious right now? I'm being destroyed by random torpedoes that I can't see?
Submarine sunk. Submarine sunk. Submarine sunk. Submarine sunk.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised about that indeed. That is some extreme damage being done right there. Okay, well, I guess I will just attack then. I will fire this one missile over there, and you can see it get shot down. Oh, it didn't get shot down. I'm actually very surprised. Look at that. 500,000 were killed, and I now have 14 points. Yes, that was just an example of what is actually capable of being done here. I'm going to build 5 more warheads with this one, and we can actually fire again if we want to. So we're going to fire at this one. This is not going to get through, in my opinion. It's going to be destroyed by, yep, it was destroyed by an SAM site, no doubt, and that is the main strategy of the whole game. Now, what I would very much like to show you is, I don't know whether you've noticed, but there's this little button down here that says New Strike Plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to the main menu, and I'm going to go to the tutorial that says the big red button. This is the thing that I very much want to show you because it is extremely cool. Obviously, I wasn't able to show you in my own game because I wasn't further enough in the game to be able to do that. But then, here we go. Let's do this. To avoid micromanaging dozens of units, you have the strike planner. Now, see, this is it, you see. This allows you to automate a massive strike. Okay, so click on the carrier icon to plan the actions for your carrier groups. So this is for you. So these are your units right here on the left, and then you'll be able to target certain things. So for example, if I want to target air bases, missile silos, and over-the-horizon radar, then we can do that. Now click on the SAM site icon to make it a secondary target, as you can see right there. So it's priority 2 rather than priority 1. Now, what you can technically do is the faction column will, in the full game, rather than the tutorial, that will have a wide variety of different factions here, and you can exclude certain ones if you don't want your units to continue attacking or anything like that. We're going to say auto-build warheads as well, and we're just going to say OK on that. Now we're going to make a new strike plan, and we're going to be selecting the SSBN, which is the submarine that I wanted to utilize before we were killed by something or other, and we're also going to have air bases and our own missile silos, and then selecting cities as the only target. Okay, so we're going to be selecting this little radiation icon at the top. It changes the name of the plan, as you can see right here, and now we're just going to be saying okay. So there are now 2 icons. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select and indeed execute Plan Armageddon, because there is a longer period of time before this is active than Plan Alpha. So we're just going to be doing Plan Armageddon. As you can see, it is now going to be executing, and you see all these little dotted lines and arrows and things like that. That determines what is going to be happening. So you'll see here, as soon as I unpause, this is what will go down. This is going to all execute at the same time. All of these people are going to be attacking and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm just going to speed up the game a little bit so you can see exactly what's happening. Everyone's getting into position, and your bombers are now close enough to enemy territory, so it's time to disable the enemy's defenses, because of course that is what you want to do. So we are going to now execute Plan Alpha. Boom. Now we're going to unpause and see what happens. So all of my air bases and things like that, they're automatically going to send their fighters and bombers over to the enemy's defenses, and hopefully they will be able to disable them. And now what is going to happen is we can enable nuclear war mode, which means that the game will no longer automatically pause. So it has a quality of life improvement in that respect. So I'm just going to let things play out, and you'll see exactly what happens. Look at this. Look at all these missiles going on. Oh, oof, yeah, that was a lot of damage right there. You can see how many points I have right now. Look at that. 1,666. We're gaining even more. And the total global pollution as well, as you can see, is at 58% and climbing very rapidly indeed. Huge amounts of casualties being dealt here, and It's all automated. I didn't have to do anything. I just needed to set it up. That is the beauty of this game. You're going to be able to pause and do basically whatever you wanted to do. And as you can see, I killed 94% of the population in that area, which is absolutely insane. But there you go. That is actually the final tutorial there, and you can also play with your friends in multiplayer if you want to. And there's also the little exhibition button that I said I would use at the end of the episode, and you can see here that this is kind of a way for you to see what happens when all of the factions are fighting against all of the other factions at the same time. So you can see Europe is doing very well right now. Where is Europe? There they are. Okay, so let's see what's actually happening. They seem to be attacking Russia right now. As you can see, they are losing huge amounts of people. And just look at how many missile silos they have. Europe has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 6 missile silos, which is pretty significant. Actually, they have 8. Didn't notice those ones up at the top there. And you can see that Europe is doing fantastically well. But that's exactly my point. The insanity that you can do in this game is just crazy. And also the satellites. I didn't show you the satellites, unfortunately, but basically you can deploy satellites in orbit around the Earth, and you can direct which path they're going to move across, and that will determine what kind of intelligence and what kind of information you gain from them. So yeah, pretty crazy. Africa's also doing pretty fantastically well right now. They are attacking. I actually don't know who they're attacking right now, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. But yeah, that's the game. That's ICBM. If you'd like to check out the Steam store page, there is a link in the description. And otherwise, I thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please give it a like, and I'll see you next time.